Hey guys, I'm back today to do another video, and for today's video I wanted to share one recent pickup that I just got yesterday that came in the mail, um, along with doing another one of my set showcases. I haven't showed off one of my favorite sets in a while, and so I wanted to do that today as well. So first we'll get into the recent pickup. Um, I ended up buying this 1956 Topps Yogi Berra off of eBay last week. Like I said, it just came in yesterday. I really love this card. I really love the 56 set. One of my goals, one of my hobby goals this upcoming year and in the future is to pick up more cards from the mid 50s and early 50s. And this definitely counts as I would say a mid to early 50s card. Again, I just love the 56 set. And here's the back of it. And yes, it is a 1, but I mean, gosh, this looks like a really nice looking 1 to me. And I'll take this in my collection any day of the week. So yeah, that is my 1 pickup. And then, speaking of the 50s, I wanted to show off maybe one of my favorite sets of all time. And that is the 1958 Topps baseball set. This is, to me, one of my favorite sets ever that Topps made. I know some people don't like it because they're more they're all kind of pose shots and facial shots, but I really love the color on this set. As you can see, this Mickey Mantle is beautiful. I actually picked this one up at the Chantilly show, I think a year or two ago. It was a pretty major purchase for me. It's in a PSA 2. And then to me, the backs of the 58s are epic. I agree with Dylan, Double D vintage baseball cards. To me, this is one of the best sets Topps made because you get those classic logos. I love the big lettering up top, as he's mentioned before. And then, of course, just showing the backs. I think the backs are fantastic with these cartoons. And then I know you only get career stats and then their previous year stats on the back. But I really like how they did it this year. The cool cartoon letters, too. I think that's pretty awesome. So that is my Mickey Mantle. Of course, to go along with Mantle, you have to have the Roger Maris, and he is one of the key rookies in this set. It's another one of the bigger purchases I made over the last couple years was getting this card. Of course, it's in a PSA 3, but I think it looks fantastic for that grade. And then here's the back of Mr. Maris. Top of Mantle there. Another one I've got here is the Duke Snider. It's graded. I really like the yellow backgrounds on these cards. The different color schemes I think are awesome. And show the back of Duke here. Another one of the major rookies in this set is the Orlando Cepeda. I have him in a PSA 2. And speaking of Mr. Berra, I do have his 58 Topps. It's in a CGC slab. I know a few YouTubers have made videos about cards in CGC slabs. You definitely get better deals, I would say that. Buying them in these kind of slabs. I definitely paid a lot less for this 4.5 than I would have if I bought it in a PSA or an SGC. So, but that is a beautiful looking card. Show the back of Mr. Berra here. Now, I have a few in SGC slabs. Here's the 58 Topps Hank Aaron. I think this is probably one of the best cards in the set, in my opinion. This might be one of Hank's best cards, I would say, period. Best looking cards. You get that old Braves logo there. And then a fun fact about this card is it does come with a yellow name variation. A few cards in the set had these variations where the nameplate up here was in yellow. And then the team, I think the team name down here is in white. I could be wrong about that, but those are a lot tougher to get. I do not have that one. I only have the regular version here. But nevertheless, it is a beautiful looking card. And then here's the back. Also have the Willie Mays. Again, I think another really pretty looking card with that blue. Here's the back. Mr. Roberto Clemente here. This is one of the cards I actually got through my brother's collection that I bought a couple weeks ago. It's in that old SGC slab there. But beautiful card. Here's the back. Again, you never really see these old logos anymore. I mean, you never see that old Pirates logo. You don't see that very often anymore. I do have a second one here of the Roberto Clemente. This one's in a 2, but I think the color on this one is maybe better. And I'll skip showing the back for that one. I have the Sandy Koufax here next. Another beautiful yellow background card here. And then another cool fact about this set is this is the first set that the Giants and the Dodgers will both be shown in California. They ended up moving after the 57 season, I think. And so they spent their first seasons in LA and San Francisco in 58. So these are technically their first LA and San Francisco cards for the Dodgers and Giants players, which is, I think, kind of neat. Set has a lot of history, I would say, because of that. And here's the back of Mr. Koufax. It's a young Sandy Koufax there. Here is a pretty controversial card, I would say, in the hobby. I know a lot of people don't like this card. I don't have too many opinions on it. I think the blue in the background's really pretty. This is a Brooks Robinson here in a 2. And here's a great example of a card. I mean, this thing got a 2, but I mean, you can't even really tell why. I mean, this card looks like it could be a 4 or a 5. So these are the kind of cards I definitely like to buy. if I see him at a good price. And that's the second year Brooks Robinson. So another probably the best card in the set. And most iconic card is this World Series batting foes with Mickey Mantle and Hank Aaron. This is I would say one of my favorite cards in my collection, and probably a cornerstone piece of my collection. To have a card with both Mantle and Aaron on it is just fantastic. And I ended up, I think, getting this card through a trade. I think it was through, a Discord group that I was in. I ended up trading, I think, a 67 Mantle that was in a 3 for this card. And I was pretty happy with it. And then the back just gives a write-up of both the players, Mantle and Aaron. And moving right along, I'll show some of the other graded cards I have from the set. So I do have the Ted Williams All-Star card. One of the great things about this set is the All-Star set. I think they're one of the most beautiful cards ever made. I think are these All-Star cards. Some of the most beautiful cards. This one's in a 5, and this one was probably my most recent purchase when it comes to this set. I ended up finishing the whole Hall of Fame run for this set, and this was the last card I got, and I got this at the Philly Card Show. Beautiful card. And the backs of the All-Stars are awesome because you get a little write-up, plus you get his stats against every team in the American League, which I think is pretty awesome. Pretty unique. You don't really see that on many other cards. Another All-Star here, and one I've showed before is this Ernie Banks from 58. Pretty awesome card. I think I've shown the back of this one on my Ernie Banks showcase, but really cool card. And another one of the All-Stars I have that's graded is this Mantle. She's back just a bit so I can get him in frame. This is an epic card, I think. And it's a great card because it's pretty affordable. I think they double or triple printed this card, so it doesn't go for the amount of money you would think it would go for. And it's an All-Star card, so it's not as desirable as his regular card anyway. But yeah, I think I picked this one up at a card shop. So yeah, I think I graded it myself. This is part of that one submission the only ever grading submission I sent. I think I sent this card in to SGC and it got it too. But it looks really awesome. Again, that's the back. I got a few Beckett cards here. I have this Luis Aparicio and a BVG 5. This is a sweet card. Again, I bought this in a BVG slab and I paid significantly less than what a PSA 5 or an SGC 5 would be. So I know Value Vintage Cards talks about this, but I seek some of these out if I see them on eBay because I just know I can get them at a better deal. And then here's the back of Aparicio. This check marks on the slab sleeve there. So another card that I actually got via my brother's collection was this Ted Williams and Ted Kluszewski, so Slugger Supreme combo card. Another really classic card. And I believe this is one of the first vintage cards me and my brother ever got, or my brother got this card. It was at our local card shop, and we got it. I think we were probably 10 or 11, maybe. I mean, we were not very old, and we knew who Ted Williams was, being Red Sox fans, so we picked it up. Here's the back. I wanted to show, I really like that Beckett did these subgrades, telling you what, out of all the 4 categories, what it graded. I think it's pretty neat. I wish more of the grading companies would do that. I think it'd be pretty cool if they did. And all right, that is all the graded cards I have from this set. We'll get into some of the ungraded stuff now. So the first one is this Ted Williams here. It's another purchase I made at the Chantilly show a couple years ago. I bought a lot of these at the Chantilly show. It was one of my goals at that show was to pick up a bunch of 58 Topps Hall of Famers, and definitely achieved that. It's one of the bigger ones I picked up. Just amazing. He was hitting 388 at age 39. Man, he was such a great hitter. So that's the Williams. There's Hall of Famer Bob Lemon. Don Drysdale. Just like Brooks Robinson, this is Don Drysdale's second card. He was a rookie in '57. Hall of Famer George Kell. Mr. Tiger, Al Kaline. I love this card. This was actually one of the first ones I got when looking to put together this run. I think that old Tigers logo is fantastic. I wish they would bring that back and bring a lot of these old logos back. It'd be awesome. And I believe this is another card that has a yellow name variation, so I do not have that either. Robin Roberts here. It's a fantastic pitcher in the early 50s. I don't think he gets talked about enough. Here's Early Wynn. Here's Hall of Famer Jim Bunning. I believe he was also a U.S. Senator, but I could be wrong about that. Here's a cool pink background card here, so you can see all the color combinations they used. I just love it. They really pop, I think. Here's the back of Mr. Bunning. It's a non-Hall of Famer. I think this was just a random card that came in a collection I got. Is this Al Dark? He was a manager, I think, for the A's and I think a couple other teams. But I wanted to show him off. Enos Slaughter, here in a Yankees uniform. Again, as a Sox fan, it's hard for me to admit, but I think this old Yankees logo is just epic. I love seeing it on these cards. It's the back of Mr. Enos Slaughter here. Here's Gil Hodges. Another great yellow background card here. Richie Ashburn. Again, guys, I could look at these cards all day. I think they're just gorgeous. So, Bill Mazeroski. This is his second-year card. Again, he was a part of that loaded class in '57. Here's Warren Spahn. Another really classic-looking card in this set. And I have two of these. I think one of them I got at the Philly show for like $15 or something. I mean, it was ridiculously priced. So I ended up picking it up anyway, but I don't know. Maybe I'll sell one, maybe I won't. I really like this card though. Here is Frank Robinson, one of my favorites from the set. This is also a Frank Robinson second-year card, of course. He was a rookie in '57. And I have a second one of Frank Robinson. Again, I think this is another one it's just too good of a deal for me to pass up at. I think it was at the Chantilly show, and I just ended up buying it because it's a second-year Frank Robinson, and it's a beautiful card. Moving on here, Mr. Harmon Killebrew. Another beautiful card. Here's Minnie Minoso. Shout out to Orlando from A Collector's Dream. I know he's a big Minoso fan. Here's a second one of that Brooks Robinson. This one came in my brother's collection, so that's the reason why I have two of them. Another one of my favorites in the set is this Ernie Banks. I know I've showed this one already. I showed my Ernie Banks collection, but I think this is a gorgeous card. Again, that old Cubs logo I think is really cool. Chairman of the board, Mr. Whitey Ford. Again, shout out to Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. I know he's a big fan of this card and of the '58 set. So Hall of Famer Hoyt Wilhelm. Here's Pee Wee Reese. This is Pee Wee's last card. This is another one that I have two of. I think this was an example of on eBay. I just found a really crazy price on one of these, and I could not say no. I do have a team card here, and it's the Milwaukee Braves. Who were the World Series champs, I think, in '58. team cards are just checklists on the back, I think. Or yeah. Another cool card in the set is the Nelly Fox. Another one of the more notable rookies in the set is Vada Pinson, who I believe should be in the Hall of Fame, but he is not. Here's the Larry Doby. It's a pretty sharp card. Another one of my favorites in the set is this Eddie Matthews. Love that green background. And then another notable rookie in the set is the Curt Flood. And of course, he's not in the Hall of Fame. Another guy who I think should be in the Hall of Fame. And funny story about this card, I think I picked it up in a bargain bin for like $2 at the Chantilly show. Me and my dad could not believe it. So it's a pretty awesome story there. And then another great thing about the set, as I showed you before, is all the multiplayer cards, and I'll show those here. Another one of my favorites is this Willie Mays and Duke Snider Rival Fence Busters. I think this is such an epic card. And here's the back. I have a second one of the Ted Kluszewski and Ted Williams. Another epic card, celebrating the world champion Braves with Eddie Matthews and Hank Aaron on it. Of course, Del Crandall and Joe Adcock were great players as well on those Braves teams. Another awesome looking card is this Harvey Keene and Al Kaline. This one's got Frank Robinson on it. And here is one with Duke Snider and Walter Alston. And last stack here, guys, I wanted to show some of the other All-Star cards and Hall of Famers a part of that set. So here's another one of my favorites, I think, in the set is this Stan Musial All-Star card. This was the first year that Musial signed with Topps, I think. It was a big deal. I think this is another card they double or triple printed along with the mantle. So it's a pretty affordable card, and I think it's an awesome card. Here's the back. And this is another one that I think I picked up, though. It was one of the first cards I picked up of this set when I was going after the Hall of Fame run. Here's Nelly Fox's All-Star card. Here's Eddie Matthews. The second one of the Ernie Banks here. Mr. Frank Robinson. Willie Mays. That's an epic card. Mr. Hank Aaron. This one's really sharp. I think I bought this one at Chantilly as well. And then the last one here is Warren Spahn. So yeah, these All-Stars are just beautiful cards. And yeah, thank you guys for sticking with me. I'm sorry this was a longer video, but it's one I was looking forward to for a while. To finally show you guys probably my favorite looking set of all time. And so yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys big fans of the 58 set? What is your favorite set of all time? And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching.